Hello again, this is Kevin, the lead programmer and designer of the Zig Renko charting suite. In this video I'm going to go through one of, I think, the coolest portions of the charting suite, which is called the Renko Mash. And what this is going to do is allow you to utilize as many different Renko indicators as you would like, squeeze them down into histogram format, and show them on the current chart. So you can use the power of price only, stretch it out over time, and you can utilize it with any system that you currently have, or use it as a system on its own to just rake in the pips time after time. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to open a new chart, simply going to File, New Chart, and picking any chart will do at this current point in time. Now this is one of the times where the time frame does matter. Whenever you apply your Renko charts, if it's a very small number and you're on a bigger time frame, then it's not going to be quite as accurate. So if you're on, say, like the 15-minute or the 30-minute time frame, then using a box size of 500 or 1,000 might be a little crazy, as you wouldn't even be able to see the chart on the current screen. So just keep that in mind. So I'm going to switch to the hourly chart, and then I'm going to take the Renko Mash indicator and double click it to apply it to the current chart. Now it's going to open up this familiar custom indicator inputs window. And here we can actually set the different inputs for the Renko Mash indicator. Okay, so it's pretty familiar. It looks a lot like the Renko Fast indicator, except with a few key differences. First being that multiple box sizes is up close to the top, and it doesn't have a switch to turn it on and off, because that's what this indicator is based off of, is all the different multiple box sizes that you're going to be using. Setting Renko box in here isn't going to do anything for this indicator. This is simply for the indicator to call itself and use this section to specify what Renko chart we're going to be looking at. So simply leave this box size as it is. You don't have to change that at all. Multiple box sizes, this is where it gets fun. What you're going to want to do is actually tell it where you want it to start, where you want it to end, and the step involved in each. So for example, if I set this to 10 and 100, with the step of 10, it's going to create 10 different Renko charts, each 10 boxes apart. So it'll create a Renko 10 box, 20 box, 30 box, 40 box, all the way up to 100. If I were to set this to 300, then it will do the same thing all the way up to 300, which will create 30 different Renko charts for us to look at. I know that sounds like a lot of Renko charts, but once you see how it squishes it down, which is why it's called the Renko Mash indicator, you'll see that it's very useful, and in some cases the more boxes the better. Okay, so I'm going to reset this to the default of 100. Leave multi-start at 10 and multi-step at 10. So we're going to have 10 different Renko charts squished down into this histogram. As you scroll down, you'll notice that there are the same options as the other indicator. You have use ATR and the ATR period and multiplier, and also once again, something I'm going to get into in a future video is the advanced setting, the point figure setting. It allows you to specify a box reversal. So we're going to go ahead and leave this at false for now, but for the time being I'm just going to show you what this indicator looks like and how you can use it. Once I click OK, what it's essentially just did is attached all the different Renko charts that it could possibly attach. So once again, it attached a 10 box, a 20 box, a 30 box, all the way up to 100. So we have 10 different Renko charts. Okay, and you'll also notice that the numbers go to positive 10 and negative 10 respectively. So literally all this is doing is for each candle it will see whether or not the Renko chart is up or down. If it's up, it'll add 1 to the value. If it's down, it'll subtract 1 from the value. So whenever all of them are pointing up, you'll have a value of positive 10. When all of them are pointing down, you'll have a value of negative 10. See, and this is very handy. As you scroll back on the chart, this is less of a smooth histogram because we're only looking at 10 different Renko charts. But if I come back in here and set this to 300, then we'll be looking at 30 different Renko charts. It takes some time to build, but once it's built, it'll actually show you a different indicator. So this is more along the lines of what we want to see. This has got to be one of the greatest directional indicators that I've ever developed, and I've developed quite a few indicators. Basically, this is taking nothing but price action, nothing but Renko charts, adding them all together to see which ones are going up and which ones are going down, and then we'll just display it in a histogram format. So how do you use this? How do you utilize this to actually improve your trading? Well, for one, if you have a system already, you can simply attach this indicator with the settings. After you play around with it a bit, you'll find some good settings for you. Attach this indicator and only take long trades whenever the histogram is up, whenever the majority of the Renko charts are pointing upwards. Then you know you're in an uptrend. So you can only take long orders the whole time that it's above zero. Alternatively, the whole time that it's below zero, such as here, you'll only be taking short trades. This is a very good filter and very good directional indicator. But what if you don't already have a system? What if you want to use this as your system? You can definitely do that. Now, it'll take some tweaking on your part to determine what box sizes are the best for you when you want to get in and when you want to get out. But the best way that I found to use this is to simply buy whenever it crosses the zero line and hold on to the trade until you cross the zero line in the other direction. So essentially, we'd be buying here at, go ahead and draw a horizontal line, probably right around this area. And I'm not really being exact, just kind of showing you generally how to use it. So we'd be buying on this candle right around in this area, and we would be exiting our buy right around in here, right around at this price. So I'm zoomed out as far as I can go, but as you can see, if we were to buy here and then get out at this top line, then we just pocketed quite a few pips. That's literally right around 1,000 pips. Now that's humongous. That's very, very large, and that's time period wise. It's from 6/14/2010 to 8/12/2010. So that's about 2 months. And to get 1,000 pips in 2 months is wonderful. It's great. Depending on your money management and your system rules, if you got 1,000 pips in 2 months, then using 100-to-1 leverage, every 100 pips will double the investment that you put in. So if you're risking $1,000, every 100 pips you'll get $1,000 back. So as you can imagine, by gaining 1,000 pips on this $1,000 trade, each pip is worth $10. So you would, in fact, be getting back $10,000 on 100-to-1 leverage. Now, if you are with a broker that's with a 50-to-1 leverage, then you would be getting back $5,000. But $1,000 to $5,000 is 5 times your investment over a 2-month period. Try getting that at a bank somewhere. That's really, really good. And this works time and time again. Obviously, there is a little bit of settings tweaking you'll have to do based on the current pair and stuff like that, but as you go down, you can also sell here at this point, right around in this area. I'm going to go ahead and delete these lines because we don't need them anymore, and the horizontal line for that would be right around in this area, and you would be getting out right around in this area, and your price would be right around in this area. Now, I know that doesn't look quite as impressive as a first example, but nevertheless, you're still positive, about 50 pips. And if you'll notice, with money management applied, and also if you were to decide to get out at some point as it was starting to pull back, the maximum amount that you could have made during this trade was peak to peak about 310, 317 pips. So I mean, that's still really good. And again, it will work in the exact same way. So as you buy here, you would get out at this point, and that more than likely would have been a losing trade. And the sell, you get out at this point, that would have been a losing trade as well. But you would buy right around this area, hang on to the trade until you dip back below, And you can either scale your orders out, you can actually even draw lines on this indicator to say, you know, I'll get out whenever it crosses any of the yellow lines, and you can actually even end up staying in this trade all the way to this point over here, which would be about here, which would give you approximately 300 pips. So as you can see, this works time and time and time again, and this is just one of the settings. I didn't set this up. This is just random settings that I put into the indicator. Once again, I can come in here, and if I want to see something a little more long term, then I can put in start at 20, step by 20, and go all the way up to a 500 pip box size, and click OK. It's going to rebuild and then show you the new indicator. And see, this would have filtered out those little dips, and you would have gotten in here at this point, which is actually lower right here. It's quite nice. It's a buy, and then you would have exited more along the lines of this point, which would be right around this point here. So as you can see, once again, from entry to the highest point, it's 800 or so pips. And if you were to just follow the rules strictly, you would pocket about 250 pips or so, which, as any trader can tell you, is quite a nice haul, especially since it's a trade that you just set, forget, and then come back later and then exit whenever it comes to the other side. And once again, that trade lasted about 2 months. So you can see this indicator is very powerful, whether you decide to use it on your own or use it in conjunction with a system that you've currently got. It's kind of a directional filter. Just go ahead and play with it, have some fun with it. Don't forget to comment below and let us know what settings are working the best for you.